To be an action-packed bulletin, even for those who don't like numbers. Regina will be telling you how this year's budget, where it will pinch you, how it's likely to affect you, and who are some of the biggest gainers. Now, the government has unveiled a 3.7 trillion shillings budget, with education getting the largest allocation. The 628.8 billion shillings allocated to education to fund hiring 20,000 teachers and implementation of the Junior Secondary School National Treasury. Cabinet Secretary Prof Njuguna Ndung'u introduced 2 tax bans in efforts to broaden the tax base by increasing the tax rates for those earning above $500,000 shillings.
The 2023-2024 budget is a first under the Kenya Kwanza administration, an increase of about 400 billion shillings in comparison to the 3.34 trillion shillings presented last year.
For the financial year 2023-2024, and the medium-term budget aims at undertaking a growth-friendly fiscal consolidation plan to ensure debt sustainability.
The 3.7 trillion shillings budget is anchored on 5 priority areas under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
We project total revenue corrections, including appropriations in aid and grants for the financial year 2023-2024 budget to be Kenya shillings 2.96 trillion.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has been tasked with collecting 2.5 trillion shillings. Appropriation in aid will account for 348.7 billion, while grants are at 42.2 billion shillings.
Total expenditure projections in financial year 2023-2024 budget is projected at 3.7 trillion, equivalent to 22.6% of GDP.
This creates a deficit of 718 billion that will be plugged by a mix of external and internal borrowing at 131 billion shillings and 586.5 billion shillings respectively.
And a fifth band that will be applicable to employees earning incomes above 800,000 per month at the rate of 35%.
To increase income tax collections, Professor Ndung'u introduced 2 new tax bands for those earning above $500,000 shillings. In the budget proposals, 2.53 trillion shillings has been earmarked for recurrent expenditure, 443 billion shillings for development, while 986 billion shillings will go into servicing public debt.
Guided by the best practice, the government intends to change the public debt ceiling from a numerical number to a debt anchor in the form of a ratio of public debt to GDP in present value terms.
To support the use of clean energy, the budget seeks to increase VAT rate of petroleum products from 8% to 16%, with the exception of LPG gas. Education has the highest allocation, followed by infrastructure. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.